That is the way you want to get day 2 of ArvCon continuing to roll. What's going on, everyone? Again, welcome, everyone, as we continue with day 2 of ArvCon 2025. I am very excited that we are all back here and that we are all, I hope, fired up and ready to go after that music as we continue our work to benefit ArvCon and to benefit the Damon Runyon Cancer Research Foundation. As you folks can see, hello, everyone. As you folks can see, we are sitting now at $1,677.41. We had a great session last time where they raised almost $900 in our last session. I would love to see that happen again. If we could get clear of $2,500 coming out of this, my goal for the night was to be closing in past $2,500, $2,600. I did see that. Yeah, we got another donation. I saw that. And so if we're able to get that number, that would be really, really awesome. I'm super excited for that. And it's going to be pretty awesome. And yes, this is the first time for some of the players for ArvCon. Several of them, 2 of them actually have been with us last time, but the other 2, I think this is their first ArvCon that they're participating in. So I am excited for that. So yeah, that's a good point, Echo, for sure. So what you folks can do, you may be asking yourselves. I'm glad you asked. First of all, thank you to Alligator Alley for sponsoring this campaign and for being one of the sponsors of that right over there, being one of the sponsors of ArvCon 2025. If you haven't already done so, and I know so many of you have, please spread the word. This has been a great day so far in terms of money raised, but we need to keep going if we're going to get to that goal. So please do donate. If you haven't done so already, you can see that donation command up there. There's been a lot of back and forth between Team Chaos and Team Order, and a new one into the chat of Team Balance. So we have that. But I would love us to get to 2,000 or beyond during this session, and maybe another couple $100 with the concert, $2,300, and then see if the community D&D crew can bring us another $500-$600 tonight, so we can be heading towards $2,800, $2,900, $3,000 tonight would be great, leading us into day 3 of ArvCon tomorrow for the Marathon Eberron session. So please do, if you haven't already done so, please make sure to check us out over on YouTube and follow us and subscribe to us over there, and follow my channel, because that's the best way to get information like this. Otherwise, all the normal stuff I say about financial support, I want you to be thinking entirely not about that, but about this thing right over there, which is Damon Runyon, to benefit the Damon Runyon Cancer Research Foundation. We had our scientist chat this morning, then we had Buy the Dice Roll. That was great as well, and now we're going to have an opportunity for some more tabletop play with the Expedition crew. So please do continue to support. We're also almost at another giveaway. We're only about $22.59, if I did that math properly, from $1,700 and another giveaway. So please keep it up as we continue to go. Currently, our leader in the clubhouse is at about $260, $270 donated, and that's Del Wolf, who currently is the leader for those things you can see back there, that painting back there. But that might change depending. We have a lot of time left over. So there's a lot of time. We're not even halfway through ArvCon yet. So please continue to get those, keep those donations flowing, and please spread the word. Let people know, bring people in here, let them know this is going on and that we're involved in this incredibly awesome community event. It is really one of my favorite events all year, and it's because we get to do this stuff and hang out as a community. So please do that. Oh my goodness. Speaking of that, speaking of the raid, Thundercats. Let's go. Thank you, Mitchell. Thank you, Mitchell, which, by the way, I never really realized if it was Mytrell or Mitchell, but either way, Mitchell, very entertaining streamer I've had a chance to follow. Thank you, Raiders. Thank you, Parrotwise. Thank you, Mytrell. Thank you, Big Boss, also not a Raider, but a good friend of this channel, of course. I am excited to have you here, Mytrell. I had a chance to go check out, watch Mytrell playing Legend of Grimrock. I said the first time, Mitchell. Got it. Not my meh. Mitchell was doing Legend of Grimrock, which was awesome, and then was doing a bit of Deus Ex Invisible War. You should definitely check out Mitchell. Definitely go follow. Awesome streamer, fun times, and all that good stuff. So welcome, everyone. Welcome, Raiders. And again, we are supporting the Damon Runyon Cancer Research Foundation here. Please do support us. It will allow us to do more giveaways for you folks, and it will all be going towards Damon Runyon, which funds innovative cancer research from young researchers, multiple Nobel Prize winners. I had a chance to interview some of their scientists this morning. Those folks are this afternoon. Those folks are going to be part of a TTRPG session on Monday of Daggerheart, for those of you who are familiar with that new game just out from Darrington Press, with one of the designers of it. Michael R. Underwood will be GMing them on Monday. So they're a great cause, great foundation that we've supported for a number of years. And if we hit the goal of 5,000, we will be up to $40,000 that we've raised for Damon Runyon since this event began 11 years ago. So we're very excited about that. It's going to be awesome and great and exciting and all that kind of good stuff. But now I'm going to unmute myself and let the folks know that we are ready to go. And I am going to unmute them as well. And last but certainly not least, as I make sure that I have the right one. Yes, I do have the right one up there. We're going to head over to reveal to you the crew. They are here. Expedition is prepared and ready. Yeah, they are. I hope. I believe they are excited and pumped up, and they're not usually here on a Saturday afternoon, so that should show you, chat, how excited and pumped up they actually are. And they have a big sort of hill in front of them in terms of the money raised, but I have no doubt that they are equal to the task. Most importantly, of course, I am very honored that they are willing to join me on a Saturday for this cause. So welcome, crew, and I'll start with Rhiannon on the left of your screen. Rhiannon, it's good to see you, and someone pointed out, I think this is your first ArvCon, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep.
So, yeah, how are you feeling about your first ArvCon and all that, and who are you playing in our session tonight?
I'm excited. I haven't been on a ton of charity streams. I do some through Dungeon Scholars, which is my other stream. But so I'm playing Sataria Verban, half-elf healer, but sorcerer. So a little bit of different take on healing, which is a lot of fun. So
very excited to have Rhiannon with us. Thank you, Rhiannon. Very excited as well to have Toya Kristen Finley with us. This is not Toya's first ArvCon. Toya has done this with us before. But Toya is back with us now for some awesomeness known as ArvCon 2025. So, Toya, any feelings about ArvCon 2025 and all that kind of good stuff? And who are you playing today?
Well, can I make a challenge to all the good folk within the sound of my voice?
Okay.
Last year at ArvCon 2024 during Expedition, one single person,
that's right,
dropped a $1,000 pledge.
That's true.
Now, I am well aware that someone here can do much better than that this year. Let's see it.
I forgot that was during that session. That's true. That was the largest single donation we've had. So, yeah. Can we do it again?
That's right.
I think
During Expedition. Nobody else.
That's right.
Expedition.
No, that's
you got
true.
to better the person who did that last year.
That's right.
Okay? I know somebody can do it.
Yes.
And I will be playing Nals Darkly, also known as Nalik, a human bard. Let's get it.
Let's do it. Thanks, as always, Toy. It's a good point. You'll top that next year. Oh, Echo. A reminder to everybody, of course, do not donate anything you cannot afford to donate. That said, keeping that in mind, it is important to be able to support if and when you're able to. So for those who can, thank you. LaShawn, good to see LaShawn M. Wannick here. LaShawn is also ready. And LaShawn, this is also your first ArvCon, although it's not your first ever charity thing, because we did the one year only July Con thing to benefit the Octavia Butler, the Carl Brandon Society a couple of years ago. So you have done something charity oriented, but not this one. So how are you feeling about your first ArvCon, and who are you playing today?
Yeah, that's right. I completely forgot about that. Yeah, we did do that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here at ArvCon, and happy to join everyone else, and hope we'll be able to tell you guys a great fun story full of exploration and fun. Yeah. I am playing Raven Galinar. And she is a Lorendi. Yeah, she's a Lorendi, who is yes, it's her background's kind of secret right now, but she's experienced stuff, and more of that is starting to come to the surface. So we'll see how long she can hold out and not telling anyone her background.
There's going to be a time. There's got that 1,000-star stare, that at some point is going to come out. Always a pleasure to have LaShawn with us. Thank you, LaShawn. And last but certainly not least, you just saw this person last night as the GM of the ArvOcalist crew, which was for a time the top money getter, but has been surpassed now by the dice roll, at least temporarily. But welcome back, Zach Clay. Zach, good to see you. And I hope that everything is okay okay with you. Thank you. I know, again, this is also like you have a ton of stuff going on this weekend. You already did stuff last night. So I know it was like running back and around, and I'm really grateful for that. But welcome. How are you doing? How are you feeling about this portion of ArvCon, the expedition portion? And who are you playing today?
No, I'm feeling great. Yeah, I had the pleasure of DMing last night for the Our Vocalists, normally our voice acting crew on the Our Vanilla Run channel, but DMing, including our own Indie, who is performing, I believe, tonight, right, as part of the ARV concert.
That is correct.
There is Indie's first time playing D&D. I got to DM him, which was such a pleasure, and also first time DMing Greg himself as Arvin Everyone.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a great time. But no, I'm hyped to be here. It's always, I mean, honestly, going all the way back to Esper Genesis, I think actually at this point I'm the only person now that has carried through all the way back since Esper Genesis episode 1, all the way to now as the sci-fi campaign has continued.
That's right.
And no, it's been such a pleasure and become a tradition at this point, honestly. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I will be playing Dr. Kilden Juraxis, a Dendis cybermancer who is a bit of a celebrity and has a penchant for pensions, whatever a penchant is.
It's a penchant for pensions. I love it. All right, that actually reminds me that I need to. One thing I didn't quite do yet was I didn't pull up the notepad with all of your specific character names on it, which would be helpful because you are definitely not the By the Dice Roll crew. That is a whole different thing. Okay, there we are. Yes, thank you so much, Zach, for multiple contributions this weekend and all that. And we are ready. So, chat, I'm going to talk a little bit. I'm going to do our little recap leading up to where we are now. But as I do that, just as a reminder to you and, of course, to the players that this will this may be a little disjointed at times insofar as I hope and expect we will be getting multiple donations. And when that happens, I'm going to have to acknowledge them. So just be aware that there may be a lot more of that going on during this one time. And I hope people will forgive me for that. But it's, again, all for the good cause, as they say. So yeah, let me turn on a little bit of music and let's talk about what happened in our last session. Where is my... Not Desert Bazaar, Space Explorers. There we go. That's what I want. Great. All right. In our last session, the crew has been sent, more or less, to try to find out more information about the the imminent danger posed by these creatures, the Carodin, what exactly they represent, who exactly they could be, and whether or not the threat that they posed to the Shadow Realm of Velis or to the realm overhead, more broadly of Thalos, whether or not that's something which the party is going to do something about. It seems connected insofar as there seem to be a lot of these Primarchs that seem to be having mental mind control issues these days. And so the crew has agreed to try to go and find out where it all began. And that is where the crashing of this ship, the Centurion, which crashed into the planet a long time ago, has been. It was not an entirely uneventful journey to get to the ship. As they arrived, they encountered some friendly balls of light, will-o'-the-wisp type creatures, semi-friendly anyway. They had to avoid several trapped areas, and then, of course, they had to battle this massive stone-breaking thing, this machine, along with several of its guards and handlers. They were able to defeat it, and then with a little bit of searching, managed to find a lift which led them up to a foggy plateau deep within the mountain range, and a broken set of mining tracks leading from the base of that lift across this field of scorched and rocky terrain. They proceeded through that terrain and arrived at the outside of the entrance to this tunnel, where they found a monument on which there was an image of what it looked like some creatures or people or beings. It was hard to tell because it's been so worn away by time. But there was an etched plaque at the bottom of this image that said, "The mighty heroes of Thalos, Ultor, Ashavi, Nargrim, Petrus, Nisa, Philomela, Xanalthea, and Caliduri." And having gotten those names and sort of conjured a bit with them, the party then opened using cranks on either side of the door opened up the cranks on either side of the door, leading them to a enclosed chamber with a windowed metal door on the opposite side. There were lighting panels in the ceiling, casting a dim light against dingy metallic walls. And beyond the window door is a large chamber with a network of hallways branching from it. And there is a 10-foot wide cylindrical metal column marking the center of the chamber. And with all that said, I'm going to bring us over to our new map, which is, line must be drawn here. So let me just unmark this and mark this. Hang on a second. Hold, please. There we go. There we are. It was not refreshing with the current map. Now it's there. Okay, so let me see. I think I can probably bring your tokens over here. Let me see if I can. Copy. Okay, this is probably going to be way too large. Let me see if I can fit everybody in, and then I'll get everyone to a reasonable level. There's Nulls, and there's Gamork, and who am I missing? Am I missing somebody?
I think
I think I got everyone. All right, great. Okay. All right, so yes. So this is what you see, and I can give you a little bit more, I think, to the left and right here. You can see a few things here. There we are. So yes, a couple of notes about the interior of this ship, because it might be of interest to everybody. First of all, there are these glowing panels along the upper wall and ceiling that provide dim light from what you can tell here. The air inside this ship is very thick and stale and stuffy, and also uncomfortably warm and humid. Presumably, there was actually some climate control at some point in the existence of this ship, but not at the moment. But there's obviously some dim lighting that's still somehow present, despite any kind of energy source not being available that you can tell. And otherwise, the interior of this, I should say, shows signs of age and wear, although being sealed away from these elements seems to have helped keep the structure from deteriorating any further. But you do see some small sign of decay and things of that nature. What would the party like to do?
Any sounds?
There are almost no sounds that you can hear right now. It's just very silent and very oppressive. Everything seems to close in around you.
Okay. Duraxis, as leaderly as he wishes to be, steps forward with his coat, his tentacles as a Addendus. He's sort of an alien-looking guy with a red tentacle beard and red tentacle hair, and he holds a maybe a scanner in his hand, and has a recording unit, video and audio recording unit, that is also linked to his visor. He turns around to everyone. He says, "All right, everyone. So, at least for myself, I am here to learn how to fly this thing. Oh, I can't wait."
Better you than me.
And he says, "But also there are other reasons, and we were sort of directed here by the elves, and etc., etc. But
Does anything look familiar to you or to Raven?
well, these are hallways. Hallways are familiar."
Raven is looking at the panels.
Okay.
And would you know anything about them? I guess. Let's see. Trying to think if she would actually recognize them.
Yeah, I mean, I would say you probably don't even need to check Raven to know that they're definitely lighting panels. But as far as you know, lighting panels have to be there has to be an energy source somewhere to keep them lit. And obviously there's not really, there might be some solar possibilities here because it did crash into the outside of this area, but it still seems, given that this is supposedly a multiple hundreds of years crash, it's strange that the energy seems to be enough energy, at least for the lighting, to be dim. It is dim, though, and climate control, as I said, does not seem to be operating.
Would these panels look anything like the ones underground where the Twilight Elves were?
I would say not. No, these look to be of a sort of different design, although it's kind of hard to get a real sense of it. There's not much, like, the thing about the panels down with the Twilight Elves is that those had a lot of, like, intricate, runes and things like that, and there's none of that on this. This is just a straight, like my light panel up here that you can't see, but just a plain panel of light, basically.
Well, we just choose a hallway, yes?
And
Unless we wish to split up.
are we sure we're alone in here?
Probably not. Did we have to, like, open a door to enter this place, or is it
Yes,
just
you
open?
had to. There were two cranks on the opposite side of these
right.
doors, and you each had to operate a crank to open it. But you do
Okay.
remember that when the ship crashed, there were people going in and out of it fairly frequently for a while before this cataclysmic event. So yeah,
Because this was sort of like the seed by which they unlocked the secrets of Magitech.
this was the arc, if you will. Yes, that's right.
I see. So it may be likely that what is really, really valuable to find has already been taken or remains here if it can't be taken. But... All right, well, left, right, or forward? I say we go forward.
I say whatever we
It's
do,
as good as any.
we don't split up.
All right. He says, the shots tend to look best when all of you are... Oh, well, I guess I have to decide. Am I doing this? I'll go first. And I'll stride down the hallway.
Okay. Which way are you striding?
This way.
That way. Okay. All right. And the three of you are following behind. There, I should say that there's enough room probably for you to fit next to each other at time, two of you at a time. But having said that, it is a little uneven, and the walls, in some places it's clear that the walls have been kind of hollowed out, for want of a better term. Like, you don't think that they're all naturally appearing this way. Some of them almost look like cavern walls as opposed to ship walls, even though you know that they are actually a ship that you're dealing with. So I mention that only to say that at times it's going to have to be single file. So given that, does anyone have a sort of order they'd like to be in when that happens? Like, if Jaraxxus is in front, do we have a sense of who's second, third, fourth?
I'll be last.
Okay.
I can be second.
Okay. Sounds good. Just moving Nulls out of the way. Where do you want Gamork then?
Maybe kind of in the middle.
Like behind Sitaria or behind you, Jaraxxus, or?
Sure.
I don't know that. I was also thinking, like, if anything creeps up on Raven, it would be nice to have him back there as well, but this would be uncharted territory for him.
And for Raven.
Well, Raven would be a little more familiar with the technology, whereas Gamork wouldn't. That's the only thing I was thinking about.
Oh, I was talking about having Gamork next to Raven. So, yeah.
Like having Gamork and Raven in the back row sort of thing?
Yeah.
Okay. You can do that if you want.
Yeah, Raven's going to look down at Gamork with a look of okay, I guess we're doing this.
Sort of growls. You can see him snuffling. Sometimes if he's trying to clear his nostrils from the stale air. Okay. So, Sataria, why don't you put yourself behind Jiraxis? I won't make everyone do this
Okay.
all the time, but just to get a sense. And then, I guess Null's behind there, and then Raven and Gamork bringing up the rear. Does that look good, Raven? Are you able to
Yeah.
control your?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So, as you're going, by the way, Jiraxis, are you going incredibly cautiously and stealthily, or attempting to? Are you marching confidently, or are you just sort of like going? Like,
I don't, because there's so many of us, I don't think we're necessarily going to go out of our way to be super stealthy.
Okay.
We don't have like, it'd be different maybe if we had a druid who could cast Pass Without Trace or something, but I think just walking forward and being slow and perceptive, but not necessarily ninja stealthy.
Okay, fair enough. So, let's talk about what happens when you get here. So you come to this T-junction, and there's two things that I want to note about it. The one is that the passageway extends to the west and to the east, but also your attention might be drawn to this, which is that little blue lock symbol that you actually see. The reason that you note that is that there is what looks like there's a door, a kind of metallic door, and I will say that let me just double check about the previous chapter. Okay, for Sitaria and for Nulls, the sign markings, there's a small plaque next to the door, and there are markings on that plaque, and the markings on the plaque remind you a little bit of what you might see from scribes. Knowles, you might know about this from having seen some of this stuff, but Sataria, you sort of studied this quite a bit. But it's similar and yet not translatable. That is to say, it looks like the shapes, but they're all, like if you could imagine, a lowercase b in English, right? But instead of being a lowercase b, it was mirrored. So it's like it looks kind of like a B, but it's not obviously a B. So
A B.
very sweet. Exactly. It's that, yeah. Or a P or something like that. But it's familiar to the both of you. Raven and Jiraxis, you have not seen this before, but you certainly have seen signs leading to areas before. And so you could try to figure it out if you want. Last thing I'll mention before you go on, though, is that there is also a glowing blue highlighted, what looks almost like a lock around the metal door there, that you see next to which there's this plaque.
Okay. Jiraxis will kind of put his hand to his forehead and say, only recently I changed out one of my complex patterns. For the longest time I had one loaded that let me read all writing. Yeah.
Always fighting the last war.
Yeah. It's basically like a warlock. I changed my invocation from what would be Eyes of the Runekeeper to a different. But anyway. Okay. Well, nothing in these hallways
Not that you see
can
so
be
far.
interacted with.
Did I hear someone else saying something?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so Sataria, I feel like there's a moment when you almost recognize something where you just like stare at it.
Mm-hmm.
Like your brain is going to engage if you just stare hard enough.
Yep.
So even though she doesn't say anything, y'all can definitely tell that she's something's yeah. So she's just gonna try to, if she looks at it long enough, does it make sense?
No, but it's clear though that even though you're not a spacefarer yourself, that this sign and this door are connected in some way, and also that the glowing blue lock is literally what looks like a I guess the equivalent of a touchpad, but there's not separate numbers. It's just you just see a pad. So for you, Sataria, it would be like basically just a black rectangle that is glowing blue. But the plaque itself, it's not a lot of writing, but beyond that, yeah, you're not really sure.
Would the plaque be written in any of the languages that Knowles knows?
No, that's what I'm saying. These are languages that they're familiar to you, but they don't make sense. Like it's a language that's almost like either a mashup or a mix, as if you were reading something in English, but it was all gobbledygook.
Can I sound it out? Because I'm thinking if it's a transcription,
Mm-hmm.
like, can I make the sounds of the characters and see if that means anything to Dr. Jaraxxus and Raven, or is it too different?
That's not a bad idea. Try. Let me see. I will ask you to make. Let's make that an intelligence check. I think is what that would be.
Okay.
Jaraxxus will walk over to Sataria and say, let's see if this magic thing actually works. And he's going to cast guidance.
Oh.
Yeah, so you get to roll a d4, or I don't know how you like to do it, Greg. Should I roll it or should...
No, she can roll d4, so to add to it.
And you see little sprites and virtual drones appear out from my hand and enhance your vision and zoom in at certain spots.
Okay.
Cool. So that gets it up to 15.
15. Okay. So as you start to sound it out, Raven and Jaraxxus, I'm going to ask you both to make intelligence checks. And actually, let me think about this. No, I take that back. I'm going to ask both of you to make lore checks if you happen to be proficient in that. If not, it's just a straight intelligence check. But just Raven and Jaraxxus as Sataria is reading this. Nulls, as it's sounding out, you're like, yep, but it's still like, peach window blop or something. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Oh, I see a 20 there from Jaraxxus. And I see a 3 plus something. So 6 total? Is that what we're looking at?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Raven, you're like, I don't, what? But Jaraxxus, yeah, you think so. You think that this is actually it's a plaque basically indicating the area. And it translates roughly as security.
Would be past this blue.
Apparently.
Okay. Yeah, Jaraxxus will say that. He'll say, oh, I think I understand based on what you're saying. That seems like a security.
So it doesn't say how to unlock it.
It says blue keycard. Security, blue keycard.
So there were guards inside here?
Perhaps. I'll step down this hallway and look north.
Okay. If I go north here. Oops, I almost revealed too much. Let's not do that. Okay. All right, the passageway extends up. And there we go. And over. And you think you see another glowing blue plaque.
Right.
Over in that area to the north. There's also a passageway that extends to the west.
Okay.
And this blue key card, that's about as mundane as it sounds.
I'm not a hacker myself, but maybe we
But
can
it
find
may
one.
be something we may need to find or something.
Mm-hmm.
A water? What was that? You take an axe and you just keep cleaving.
Or like lock picking, but with
Like
this,
a key.
I'll make little bits and sprites appear, digital.
Yes, of course, sure.
I have a theory. Draxus just is going to walk around to confirm that this is a circular path around this thing. He's just going to do a lap.
Okay. Let's see. So, like this. And then, whoops. And then
No?
down there. Although there is a passageway here, but there is here a red glowing something
Mhm.
with a plaque next to it.
Do we have to go through the same process to understand this one?
I would say you probably, now that you've heard it, can make a lore check without having to have Sataria say it first, or
Okay.
or nulls. But
No.
I will also provide
unless
some
I mean, unless
guidance
I
here.
should, yeah. Well, that's
Okay,
I was
great.
going to say. Actually, that's a good point. Sataria and or nulls, not just guidance, but also you might actually now Sataria or nulls be able to give a benefit to Jaraxxus, though he doesn't need it, but it would probably be like say +1 or I'd say +2 if you read it out first. So I should say that.
Yeah, so I'll guide
Okay.
Jaraxxus here.
So does that mean I'd get a D4 and a +2?
That's right.
Okay, great. And then I can still cast guidance again, so I'll guide Raven. And then assuming Sataria is helping, we're getting a D4 +2 on top of normal. That's pretty cool. Let me see if this works. It did. I rolled abysmally, but those bonuses.
Yes. This one reads operations, and underneath that, red key card.
Okay. All right.
Red key card. Did we see something like that outside as well?
Yeah, maybe down into the west.
Now, why would there be operations on the outside of the ship?
Maybe the color doesn't always lead to the same kind of room, but rather is a level of clearance. Like someone with a red key card can access operations and the kitchen and the janitor's closet, or something of that sort.
So who has the power or the greater power?
I'll tell you
To
what's
enter
the
these
power.
areas.
It's whoever just donated.
Who
because
just donated. We got an anonymous donation of $100. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
great.
you.
So we are now
Ooh.
up to 1777. Interesting year. 1777 and 41 cents. So thank you, anonymous donator, my favorite person. Jump in, please, and continue to move us up that way. We are closing in now. $222.59, I believe, if I did my math right, before we hit 2,000. So let's get it. Let's get it. Let's make this happen, chat. Please jump on board and support with donations if you can. And that means we have another giveaway, I believe, mods, amazing mods, I believe is what's happening. So thank you to said anonymous donator. My apologies. We were talking about key cards.
How big are they? Because a key, but it's a card.
How big is the
And-
pad, you mean?
No, I'm asking Dr. Draxus.
Oh, good.
Well,
I was
actually,
gonna
I'm by
say.
Raven, aren't I? So Raven, she's asking like key card, like how big? Because they're keys, but they're cards.
More or less, yeah.
So the
least-
size of a normal key.
And with that, Raven gives a helpless look at Dr. Draxus.
I mean, can we see the opening where they would go, or is this a tap? You tap your card.
No,
sort of
this is a tap. It's a rectangle, like a black rectangle, which looks like a touchpad that you would basically put the key card next to. You've seen things of this nature, and the key card would then open it up. And the pad is glowing different colors. This one red. The ones that you found so far up to that point were blue.
All right. I say we just keep exploring.
You think the key cards are still here somewhere, or are they long gone?
And Jaraxus says the idea is that a mural was made outside this place, and the legend, I suppose, is of this planet is that this place has already been investigated. What I wonder is if they ever entered these rooms, or if we would still be the first to do so. And if they have already been in this place, then that means that they locked the rooms behind them as they left, or the rooms locked themselves, which is not unheard of. But I don't know.
Can you think back in your history? What would you try to hide?
Well, so far we're seeing security and operations. These seem less like places where you'd hide things and more like where you'd... Well, to be honest, it's here that I need to get into. He points at operations and says, I imagine this is closer to how we would maybe control or access the ship. Security might unlock all the doors, though. That's a possibility. I say we choose another hallway and just keep walking. How about you choose, Nalik?
Well,
Raven mumbles under her breath. Too bad we can't hotwire it.
Would we even know how to do that?
Maybe. It's possible
Raven
that you
might.
could give it a try. And Raven, I was going to say that, yeah. Raven might know how to give it a shot. Raven knows that it's also, it could be dangerous if it doesn't work. That is, if you know, like if you try to hotwire something and you hit the wrong wire to the wrong wire, could sort of set something off or alert somebody. But also, it might work. You don't know until you give it a shot.
And Raven's not that type of engineer.
Yeah, Jaraxus isn't necessarily either. Maybe let's explore and then we can hotwire as a last resort, maybe.
Well, where do people keep keys? They keep them in their pockets. And if this was investigated, they would have taken the bodies. So that would leave us at like grave robbing, which is not great. But also you keep your spare key in a drawer or
We should
similar.
look for quarters, like their bedrooms, essentially.
so wherever they were living,
Mm-hmm.
where do quarters tend to be on ships like these?
Well, my guess is that north of here, if we just continued forward, I have a feeling maybe that would take us to... Eventually we're going to find where this ship was flown from, which it would be strange if it was the operations room. There must be a bridge, is what it's called.
Well,
my guess is that it would be this way.
Well, then lead on, leader.
Okay. He heads to go north.
Okay. If everyone is following, you can put yourselves in position there. Sorry, just so as not to add to distraction. Okay. So the passageway extends up this way. And as you get towards the end of the hallway, you start to see a glowing red light.
Ooh.
And what you see is what looks like the same kind of turbolift door that opened when you first entered this facility on the other end. However, a note about the turbolift here is that you can see that it is glowing red, and the outer door that sort of leads to it, which is right here, is glowing red and is closed.
Okay.
We need the murder puppy with us.
Oh, right. Sorry. Gamork has escaped. Oh, no. Yeah, sorry. Gamork is up here with all of you.
Did the turbo lift implies vertical movement? Does the ship seem tall enough that it would have a second floor?
Yes.
Okay.
Possibly a couple of floors.
I see. All right, Jiraxis says as much, and then, yeah, he says, let's just keep going. I almost think we should split up. This place is so quiet. I mean, we could all just sort of circle back, but that's when things go wrong. So
You don't know what ghosts are in here, and neither do I.
ghosts aren't real.
I mean, you saw one. Uncle Bones helped him to his rest, remember?
Well, yeah, he's it's different. He's a he's different. I'm talking like a ghost that is visible and attacks us, sort of ghost.
Oh, so you think the only ghosts are phantasms, do you?
If that's what Uncle Bones is, I guess.
Ghosts are memories. Ghosts are things that come creeping back to remind you of the mistakes you made. All sorts of ghosts could be here, Jiraxis.
I don't need ghosts to remind me of my mistakes. I just need reels and clips of my. Yes. There are some benefits to being out of network here. I'll just say that. Let's go this way. He goes to head west.
Okay. Let me move that over there and get that back up there. Great. Okay.
Before everyone leaves, Raven takes a closer look at the turbo lift. Is there anything she should see?
That depends a little bit on what she's looking for, I guess, Raven.
I guess any way to like open it or switch it on.
There's the access panel, which is the thing that normally would open up or close one of those. But as you look at the panel, it does look as if it is locked, basically, and closed. So, and the whole thing's glowing red, which indicates, if you had to guess, it probably isn't activated from here. You could try to locally hack it, but generally, especially for things like this on other ships you've been on, although this is an enormous ship, most of the time that's controlled from some more central location because of security breach things or whatever. So you're going to the west, you said.
Yep.
Okay. All right. At the end of the hallway to the south, you see another operations glowing red door with plaque, or I should say glowing red door, not door lock, really, pad with plaque.
Hmm. Okay.
And that is what you see.
And this is also operations or something else?
It also says operations from what Jiraxis and Raven can read.
Seems to be.
Is that normal to have multiple operation rooms on a ship?
My thought now is that these words are less specific than I originally wagered.
Another $100 donation from Anonymous. Thank you. 1877.41.
you.
Let's go. We are now only 123 little plus dollars to 2,000. So thank you so much, everybody. Let's keep it up.
Keep it going, keep it going, don't stop, continue.
Keep it going. And you don't stop. And you don't stop. Boy, Anonymous Good guy anonymous. Good person anonymous, right?
Yeah. Okay. Draxus will walk back and he'll say, "Yeah, there probably are more types of operations, but I don't see anything more specific. And what about this way? Does it also have a dead end?"
Over this way, not quite. Over this way, you see there is another door, but this one does not appear to be locked by a key card of any kind.
Oh, perfect. Finally. I'll take a note from Rem and her play of Fitzriley yesterday and open the door with no caution.
With no
to the
hesitation?
wind. Yeah, yep.
Okay. All right. Well, when you open up this hallway,
Oh, that's really thin.
it opens up. Yes. Now, I will say the scale on this is important, though, is a big ship. So, relatively speaking,
Oh.
it's thin, but it's like I have to zoom in or otherwise it's impossible. But this is an enormous ship. So,
Okay.
it's still
So
pretty decent size hallway.
Our tokens are larger than
Yeah, I just
they
did that
actually
because
would be.
otherwise I have to zoom in so far that you can't.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
What you see here when you're coming in is that there's what look like multiple rooms around here. There's hallways, and there seem to be doors leading into a bunch of separate rooms along these hallways.
Mm.
And I will move that over there.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, I think I see these like slightly brighter.
That's right. Yeah, it's a
squares.
little dim because of the yeah. That's right.
Okay. Okay. Draxus turns around and says, "Well, we're all in the same hallway. Let's maybe choose a door, open it." And Draxus will go deep into the hallway and open this one. And if other people want to open other doors,
Okay. So when you open that doorway, you can see that there is what looks like the equivalent of, and let me make sure I got that right. Okay. So make sure I was looking at the right place. Yes. There is, as you sort of open this up, you can see that there are what looks like a bunch of like humanoid, well, first of all, metal parts. Cetari and Nulls, they just look like metal to you, pieces of metal. But Raven and Jaraxxus, you're pretty confident that these look like parts of maybe robots. You can see like arms and sort of antenna and things like that scattered on the ground. You all can recognize other parts, though, which do not look to be of the inorganic variety, if you know what I mean. Bones of various kinds can be found down here as well. It looks like there was a pretty, there was something happened in this spot as well. And there's a lot of, these look almost like they might have been like, there's sort of these suites, I guess might be the way to describe it. And so there's like several tables and things like that.
I thought you meant sweets as in like candy. I was like,
yeah,
candy?
and there's cinnamon rolls on the ground and a bunch of ice cream sundaes. No.
I brush past the bones to get to the sweet.
Yeah, sweet roll. Yeah, no, not that kind of sweet. But there's a bunch of those in the ground. There does look like a lot of like stuff that's kind of maybe on the ground, but you'd have to sort through things to find it.
Are there any remnants of clothing?
You'd have to not from your vantage point, but you would need to search a little more to see, Nels.
Okay, so this is the room right here.
Yeah, the one that's
I'm kind of trying not to cover up the art.
Yeah, absolutely. I know, because it's right there.
Okay.
And if I zoom in too far, it starts getting pretty pixelated. So.
Yeah.
Okay. So Nulls is going to take a look at the corpses, basically.
Okay. Okay. I would like you to make an investigation check for me, please.
Alrighty.
Can Sataria do some kind of medicine to say something from the
Sure.
bones?
Sure, absolutely you can.
Sex would be hard, but like age, maybe?
Right. Absolutely you could. Go ahead and make a medicine check for me.
Oh dear.
I think you're like, bones? Are these bones? I think that was the criminal.
What the
No, they're
bones?
very hard to tell.
Okay.
It does look like there were a couple of markings that might have suggested that they did not die of natural causes, but you probably could have figured that out anyway without the medicine check. But yeah, it's hard to tell. Knowles,
Actually, can
sorry, go ahead, Raven.
Raven's looking much greener than usual.
Okay.
But she also would like to make a medicine check.
Okay. Go ahead and do that.
Seeing that Sataria hasn't found anything, Jaraxxus will offer Raven some guidance.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, not that you need it.
Yeah, Raven, you do recognize this, and it's probably based upon, you've maybe seen things like this before. Two things to note. First of all, it appears that a lot of these bones sort of were at some point part of constituent bodies that have since sort of been scattered about. That is to say that someone took the bones and kind of like either threw them in here or they were brought from somewhere else, because you find like, multiple fibulas and stuff like, it's not all coming from one body. But there's two other things to note. The first is that the bodies themselves, the bones have in several areas scorch marks. You're pretty sure that this is blaster fire related. Something shot these people or these humanoids. The second thing is, Raven, that as you're looking, you can see that buried below the bones, it's not very pleasant business, but buried below the bones, there is one that is still wearing its like flight jacket. It's kind of rotted away a little bit, but it's still preserved apparently by the rest of the bones there. And there are still like pockets in it and all that kind of stuff.
Did Knowles notice anything?
What? Sorry, what?
Did Knowles notice anything?
Yeah, that you were investigating at the same time, right?
Right.
When you saw Raven noted, like sort of looking in the medicine thing, you definitely notice when she pulls forth the jacket, the one that has the flight jacket with the pockets. Before that, you don't really notice anything unusual other than a lot of bones, Knowles. And
Okay.
clearly violence was done to these, but there was nothing that you saw to loot until you saw Raven with the jacket.
Okay, so let's go through those pockets then.
Raven, do you want to do that?
Raven can. Yeah.
Okay.
She takes a deep breath, but she releases it and then she starts going through.
Okay, because I mean, if anybody's squeamish, Sataria's got your back. She doesn't mind cadavers.
Sara's like, it's just a body. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, at this point it's just a body. So I search the pockets.
The pockets are largely empty, Raven, but in one of them there is a green key card.
Jaraxxus is colorblind. He's like, we found the red key card.
Yeah, and you know it is a key card. Sataria and Knowles would just see it as a card.
It's green. So it's green. Dr. Jaraxxus says it's green. But
I see.
Well, is that higher than blue and red? I don't know your culture's color.
Do we have a yellow lock somewhere, and we can maybe tap a blue and
The RGB system.
yellow
of
and
This, yes, I've never seen this kind of locking system exactly, so I wouldn't know.
well, I guess we need to find the green lock.
But we don't know what clearance this green lock has. But at the very least, we can now confirm that the panels open through cards, or at the least we should be able to open the doors with cards.
Do you recognize the coat this person was wearing? Was this somebody with high standing?
Can we tell that?
Not likely. I mean, it doesn't correspond with anything that you know or any particular service, but it is really hard to tell, except that it's not an obvious uniform exactly. It's more like a flight jacket, like you might wear to do training missions or whatever. But it's not like a full dress outfit for whatever that means. Well, thank you, Geister.
And with the medicine and investigation of the bones that was done, and determined that it was blaster wounds and things like that, but also that the bones had been moved in here after the fact.
It seems.
Okay. So these people were not killed in this room. And in fact, like if we look at the walls, are there blaster marks on the walls?
You could do an inspection to be really sure, but just a quick visual inspection does not suggest that, no.
All right. And what is this? It's kind of hard to see with the quality, but this sort of red circular thing in the center.
Yeah, so that is actually a green circular thing in the center, but it's not.
Maybe I'm colorblind.
Yeah,
I actually am, but not that bad.
Not that bad. Yeah, no, it's green here, but it's it looks to be just sort of like the green is really just more like what looks like maybe algae or stuff like that might have grown up around the bottom. I mentioned how musty and humid and everything it is in here. So it's sort of, that's what you notice as far as the green is concerned. Otherwise, it looks like just a set of chairs and a fairly small round table that have been, again, but it looks like thrown here, like they're all scattered. This almost feels like it used to be a suite and then it became a junk room or something.
Got it.
Okay, is there anything else like lying on the ground? You said there was junk here. Can we go through the junk?
Sure, I'm assuming you've done some of that already. The rest of that is like metal parts. You're not familiar with what nulls, but metal pieces. Even Gamork sort of like noses it a little bit and sort of like snuffles as if, not like, oh my God, I found this revelation, but just sort of like, ugh, like I don't like any of this junk. Very, very out of your own experience, Nulls, in terms of like stuff you would have encountered before. You have no idea if any of it's valuable, but you see what looks like a humanoid arm, except it's metal humanoid, and so on.
But what's interesting is if this is a junk room, did whoever dispose of the bodies here consider the bodies junk?
Perhaps. Yes, and also, yes, if this place has already been picked through, and a key card has been left behind, then either the people who were here and made these great discoveries had a surplus of key cards, or again, maybe we are the first people to look into these rooms, or to, well, I don't know. Draxus will go to open the room south of this one.
Okay. All right. When you open that room, you find actually a hallway. I believe. Yes.
Yeah.
A hallway.
I guess you've partially revealed the room past this door over here, I guess. But
yes. Which, yeah.
we might as well open that one too.
I revealed that. Okay, so you're going to reveal that too?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So when you open this room, this looks to be a sort of a similar kind of almost like suite, although there's no table in here. You don't see any junk in here. At least, let me rephrase. You don't see any humanoid bones or anything like that, but there are some metal parts and debris. Not nearly as much in the room to the north, though.
Stepping inside, can I tell like what the purpose of this room was at all?
It looks like, because you can see several like panels, some dark screens on the wall that might have been like maybe entertainment panels. Like this might have been like a place that, or like maybe video conferencing. You don't know, but like it
I
could have
see.
been something like that. But they are clearly dark and unpowered. And you don't see any obvious control panel nearby to fix it. Just these sort of blank, what look almost like monitor screens.
Okay. And nothing else of real interest in the junk that's scattered about.
It does
if I
not
search
seem.
it?
It does not seem
Okay.
so. Although you could spend longer looking at it, but there's a lot less junk, so you can see more of it from here, basically.
Yeah.
And then there's this room over here, which is off the hallway that I kind of half revealed.
I will open it.
Now this one is a little different because this one, as you're trying to, the sliding door to it is partially open already. And there is a kind of 6-inch gap basically between the door frame and the lock. It looks like it might have been locked at one point, but you can see the top is bent a little bit as if somebody tried to force this open. And so it's just there, and you can vaguely see just a little bit inside, but it just sort of looks like another one of these rooms. But it is the first room that hasn't been obviously opened in the same way.
Okay. Can it be forced open?
Yes, you can give that a try if you want to make an athletics check, and if someone wants to assist you, that would help too.
Cool.
I'll assist.
Okay.
Great.
All right, so go ahead and make that check, and you can do it on advantage because Niles is helping you.
Ah, all right.
Eh.
Okay. Okay, that's a little better.
11's better. And then you're also guiding
12.
12. Let's see. Is that enough to open it? Not quite, Draxus. You feel like you and Nulls are not quite able to get it open. But it feels like it is within you, just that you were not able to do it. Raven and Satari could give it a shot if they want, but
I get out of the way and say my arms are sore.
if the two of you want to
Actually-
force it.
Is there a way to like shine? Do we have a light? Is there a way to shine a light into the room first?
It's a good question. I don't know if you have a flashlight. The issue actually is not being able to see in terms of light, though, Raven. It's more that the angle, like you can just basically see straight ahead of you, and it just sort of shows a wall. So it's lit in there, but you can't see based on where the door is open. You need to open more of it to get view of the rest of the room. It's more that than the light.
Well, I mean, I can assist Raven. I don't think Sataria, with her, strength of 10, is gonna do it on her own. But
All right.
Well, Raven is just as yes, her strength is 10 as well.
oh well.
Well,
Needle arms
I mean-
unite.
If one of you assists
We
the
can
other,
try.
you'll still get advantage on it.
Okay, well, I guess I can give it a try.
Okay.
So just a 1d20 plus.
With a 10, it's a 0 if that's what your
Yeah.
strength is. Okay. Okay.
Oh.
17, and you might as well roll the other one just in case.
Another one?
Yeah, because you're doing it advantage. Yeah, two, not the 2. um,
Sataria gets in the way.
yeah, like oh no, the 17 works. And you, and it opens sort of rather suddenly to reveal and as you're staring at it, a seated metallic man, Sataria, is what it looks like, on the ground, but with no head. Raven, what you see is a robot without its head, sitting on the ground, its arms out.
I will let someone else approach it.
All right. What did you find? I say from the hallway as you guys open the door.
Yeah. Raven forces open the door and then looks in and just kind of rolls back against the wall and takes deep breaths. It's like, it's only a robot. Fully robot, not real. Fully robot.
A robot. Oh, maybe we can talk to it.
It doesn't have a head.
Oh, oh, that can be fixed.
Is its head among all those bits and parts that we found in the other room?
I don't
Juraxis will,
remember seeing a head.
yeah, we'll look for a head in the room that the robot's in.
You do not see a head in the room that it's in, nor do you remember seeing a constituent head. There are like multiple little bits and bobs, but not a head in the other ones. However, one note is that there is a bed against the wall of this room, not that far from the seated headless robot. And there is what looks like, Juraxis, a small computer terminal that is located on the wall by the bed. And you can see the screen is slightly flickering.
I approach and try to activate it.
Okay. Make an intelligence check for me, please. Actually, computers, if you have it, yes. Mm-hmm.
I do.
I would hope Juraxis would have that.
While you're looking, there's something curious I've been thinking about. The writing that we found was seemingly in the language from our world, but we couldn't understand it. Only you and Raven could. How is that possible?
I don't know.
In fact, Nulls, I would like you to make a wisdom check for me. That's a very good question. Actually, lore, I think. And I'll give you +3 on that check.
So I don't see lore in my
Sorry,
skills.
I'm thinking Esper. For you, it'd be history. I beg your pardon.
History, okay.
And there's my computer check.
I'll come to that in a minute.
Not that good.
Nulls, it occurs to you as you're thinking about that and that question. Part of the reason this reminds you of what you've seen when you've encountered several languages that you've explored for storytelling, when you've seen older ones and new ones. Some of the languages that you've seen may have had their roots in this.
In this particular language?
In this language.
So this is the Latin of
Exactly.
the Silrain Arc?
Well, of this planet. You don't know about the Silrain Arc, but that check actually is good enough that you're able to turn the thing on. It wasn't complicated, Juraxis. And suddenly
You were saying the Latin of this world, but this ship is not from this world, so how could this ship's words...
Precisely, but recall that when it crashed, it had a profound effect on this planet.
Wow. So even that... Okay, interesting.
And Nulls, I don't know if you share that with anyone, but Sataria...
Oh yeah, no, I totally share that.
Because Sataria, you could actually take that a step further. In fact, now that you... So this is a trigger. This is... For folks watching at home, this is what I like to call a trigger check, where the check that works for someone triggers someone else to give them a check. And so I want Sataria now, please, to do that same... to do a history check as well.
History.
Can I guide
Yep,
Sataria?
sure.
Yes. With my knowledge, I will guide Sataria.
Sure. So 13, and then you can roll that 1d4 for guidance from Nulls as well, Sataria.
Meh. 14.
14. Yeah, I mean, your guess would be that what Nulls is sort of maybe thinking about is probably true. In fact, you think you've studied some older texts from maybe, written 100 years ago or so, that would have reflected words and languages like this. And of course, both you and Nulls know that there's a very clear demarcation in history, like before the Centurion crashed and after the Centurion crashed. And so many things changed after the Centurion crashed. Some of that language may have been lost into the Cataclysm. And in fact, Sataria, this is what Nulls might not know as well. The language that this reminds you of is language that many of the current Thalesian races despise, because it is a reminder of the way that the magitech that was used that brought about the Cataclysm in their mind.
Okay.
So, in the meantime, Juraxis, when the computer terminal flickers on, the image of a uniformed human woman appears on the screen. And it's not a big screen, but it's big enough that you all could see it. She appears distressed, and she has a bloody wound on her forehead. She speaks into the console in low tones. Officer's log. Commander Bellin Gray recording on a private server. And there's a pause and then a flicker, and then she says, the Centurion received a strange transmission passing through the Alder system. Soon after, our systems began failing one by one until we were forced to crash on this remote planet. And then there's a sort of pause and a click, almost like the image glitches. And then you see a kind of list, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, looks like about 8 different recorded, like, time captain's log things. And by the way, Jiraxis, this might sound a little familiar to you, this experience.
Yes, yeah. Okay.
I'm hoping you understood all of that. By the way, she's human.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there are humans outside of this planet, yes. All over the place. You all are kind of... yeah, all over the place.
So, did we start here or out there?
Now that is the debate.
Are there elves where you come from as well?
There are people that look like elves, but they maybe don't share the same name. I click into the next captain's log. Do they all have such individual text?
They do. When you click into the next log, you hear Officer's log. Commander Bellin Gray recording on a private server. Before we crashed onto the planet, we separated the ship from the command module. The captain and a handful of the Pridge crew were left in orbit. And then glitch. That seems to be all in that entry.
Ship disconnected from the command module. Okay. Next. Please.
Officer's log. Commander Bellin Gray. And each of these cases, by the way, you think this is a longer message, but you're just getting fragments.
Okay.
Recording on a private server. Our central computer has been corrupted. Some complex virus has invaded. Soon after, the drones and automatons. It killed 3 of our lieutenants on the lower deck. I am doing what I can to separate, but I'm not sure how much longer we can disconnect from each other. And then glitch.
A virus infecting an automaton. How's that possible?
Such things exist. A virus... there can be a virus for just about anything.
Even things that aren't alive.
Yes, and
I'm beginning to suspect that was what happened to this robot. We should probably not turn it back on.
maybe.
Is the virus still here, and can it infect us too?
I've never heard of a virus that infects both robots and living people, people of flesh. I think we're fine. And she said herself, this captain, that it was only affecting their drones and automatons. So.
Well, viruses do have a way of evolving and getting smarter.
I play the next log.
Officer's log. Commander Bellin Gray recording on a private server. Containment protocols in the bioresearch facility have failed. Multiple organic biohazards have been released. The Centurion has initiated an automatic lockdown. I hope that this is enough, but truthfully, glitch.
I am not a fan of the words bio and hazard coming together.
But um um Raven's attention perks when she hears the words bio research.
Hmm. I
So
played
this
the
place
next
has
one. Oh,
yeah.
go ahead.
Go ahead,
Oh, I
Raven.
was gonna say,
Yeah.
so this place has a bio research facility. And for the first time, she actually looks like she's relaxing a little.
I say,
Neat.
you have an interest in this?
Play the next one.
I do.
Officer's log. Commander Bellin Gray recording on a private server. Several of the technicians, including the chief, have begun exhibiting erratic behavior. This has begun to spread. 3 of the colonists had to be isolated yesterday, and the rest of the crew. And some of the colonists have been... I don't know that I know... Glitch.
So about that virus that doesn't attack living organisms.
Yes. I play the next one.
Officer's log. Commander Bellin Gray recording on a private server. She seems a little more out of breath here. Multiple attempts to contact the command crew in orbit have failed. Contact with all of the other colony ships, including the Warden, has gone silent. If what has happened to us has happened to the Warden, then none of what glitch.
Should Malls recognize that name, the Warden?
You recognize the word the Warden, but not as a ship name. The only ship name that you've heard of is this one that you're standing on, allegedly because of what you've been through with this adventure, called the Centurion. But you've heard the term Warden for sure, but not as a ship.
Would you mind reading the sentence that had Warden in it again?
Contact with all of our other colony ships, including the Warden, has gone silent.
Okay.
There are 2 left.
Jaraxxus will comment, colonists. The first log mentioned receiving a transmission that lured them here. Something similar happened to me, actually. But my ship was not a colony ship. They were colonists.
Oh, what was the purpose of your ship?
I think I was... What was I doing? It feels like so long ago. I was, I think, traveling... I think I was just traveling. When the galaxy is so big, you spend a lot of time on ships getting from one place to another. Oh. You know, I think what it was, actually, is when I heard that this strange transmission was happening, I saw it as an opportunity for something to document. So in a way, I'm still sort of doing what I set out to do. I did not plan for being stranded, though. I play the next one.
Officer's log. Commander Bellin Gray recording on a private server. Chief of Engineering has discovered an anomaly that has spread throughout the lower decks of the ship. Its origin is unknown, but it seems to have emerged from a hull breach on the port side. If we're lucky, we can isolate glitch.
Are these playing backward in time? Or
At the end of the next log, you can actually, I can have you make a check to see if you can kind of timestamp it, if you want, Raven. Narrator, they were not lucky enough. Well, I mean, listen. Suddenly dead space. None of you knew you were playing.
Oh no. Took us this long to realize.
No kidding.
Okay, I'll play the last one.
This one, she looks like very sort of at her end of a rope. Officer's log. Commander Bellingray recording on a private server. It came so fast. I'm heading to engineering to manually override the system and lock down the lower decks. If I can just separate this from the network. Glitch.
What is the network she keeps mentioning?
You see Jaraxxus is dutifully recording everything, and he then looks up from his device and says, the way that the ship communicates with other parts of the ship, the same way that if your planet was more like the ones that I'm used to visiting, I would be able to talk to other planets from here. That's a network thing.
So the virus spread over the ship's networks.
Yeah, it's possible. That's probably how it happened.
Could the virus open doors and spread the biohazard too?
Something with access to the door controls or the bio research room could certainly do that.
So you remember those ghosts I was talking about? Which
Yeah.
of these doors do we not need to open to let them out?
Well, she mentioned some trouble in the lower decks. And,
But technically, we would be now in the lower decks, would we not?
well, that's actually what I was going to ask. As
It's
we
possible
saw the
this
ship,
goes down and not up.
Yeah.
Yes, it's possible.
and yeah, Jaraxxus wants to. We have not come across like a blueprint of this place,
Correct.
but in Jaraxxus, based on our approach of the ship from the outside viewing it, and then I mean, I'm not sure how much the inside helps, but can I make like a Sherlock Holmes kind of trying to build a blueprint of this thing in my mind and determine if there might be a lower deck under us and what side would be the port side?
You think it's likely that there are probably lower decks below this. As far as the port side, the western side of this, so, more or less would be the port side, you think.
Okay.
Also, I'd like you to make a computers check for me, and then Raven, I'm going to have you make an astrophysics check about that time stamping thing you were asking about.
I'll give Raven some guidance as I'm thinking, as I'm on the computers. I'll go over and tap Raven and say, I actually, in case you didn't put it together, I'm not a medical doctor. I see you're trying to do some complex math over there. So you can roll a d4 as well, LaShawn, if you'd like to add.
And then I'll
A
take that
D4?
in order of those checks.
Just one? Okay.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
So 19? Okay. Jaraxxus, first of all, you as you're looking at this can confirm, based on the way that the logs are listed and everything, that you're pretty sure this terminal, was manually disconnected from the ship's primary computer network. So this is on its own. It's not part of the computer network. And it looks like, as you're examining it, there's a cable behind it that seems to have been ripped out by force. Something manually disconnected this forcefully. Raven, with that check, as you're looking at it, you can see that this is many, many years old. And if you're willing to translate, you tell me if you're willing to translate the years for the Thalesians, Sataria and Nulls, to get a sense of like relative time scale. You could tell them like what you found if you want to, which is just describing like the time dates of the messages. Do you want to do that?
I'll do that.
If what Raven is telling you, Sataria Nulls, is correct, this log is 425 years old.
Well, whoever they separated from is long gone. I mean, probably could have guessed that already, but
Uh, well, on this planet, the elves live for a long time. Myself, I'm 209. Just
no.
not even that old for a dentist.
If the Keratin came from here, then that means they're at least that.
Oh. What? Wait. What reason do we have to believe the Keratin came from here? Is that right?
Well, down with the Twilight Elves, we found similar technology.
Right. Does this remind us of where we rescued the elves?
I would say not exactly. There's modern technology, obviously, here in both cases, but this technology is both sort of older and neater, I think is the best way to describe it, than what you saw with the Keratin. There's a kind of organically technological, I know that's a weird way to say it, but like it's more haphazard what we get from the Keratin.
Right.
It's almost more like the inside of a brain than it is the inside of a machine. And this feels more like the inside of a machine.
Okay.
I hope I described that reasonably well.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Draxus says, well, in the same way that the writing here seems to be a progenitor for language on this world in some way. Yes, that is a theory, Nolik, that perhaps... I mean, what if the Keratin are a thing that escaped from this bioresearch thing?
Well, then we need to find out what exactly they were.
That would be helpful.
Have you heard of anything like this? That creatures, beings that the Keratin could have evolved into?
Yeah, Ava.
I do need to interrupt for a moment to announce that Hillness has just made a $251.99 donation, which brings
thank
us
you,
to
Hillness.
$2,128.40. Hillness,
Wow.
thank you. And Hillness already contributed. That means that Hillness is at about $500. And Hillness takes the lead from Delwolf. So right now, Hillness is there. Hillness, thank you. That is a big jump up. That is super awesome. Thank you so much. Also, I love the message, which is don't tell me the odds, because who needs these odds? 21-20, is it either 8? 21-29, 21-29-40. Thank you so much, Hillness. That's amazing. And that means we
Get
got
to
some giveaways too.
2,500 by the end of our session.
That would be pretty slick. That's very cool. That means we're closing in on 50% through. Thank you so much, Hillness. That's awesome. Okay. Before, as you're all talking to each other, I do want to mention that I would like a perception check from everybody, please. $500.01. Yes, that's important. Your price is writing it, Hillness. Seriously, Hillness, thank you. Extremely generous.
I have a +8 on perception. I rolled a 1.
You're too focused on, like, wait a minute. You're the theories. You're like, Draxus has got a 16. Sataria with the 20. Raven is a little bit too preoccupied with things that have happened in the last, 5-10 minutes, understandably. All right. Sataria and Jaraxis, as you're sort of looking at each other and at the computer, you hear this, and as it's coming from behind you, both of you.
I turn around.
If you turn around, you can see right outside the door, growing, a glowing and slightly moving red light, as if something is coming. which is a perfect place to take our break. You are watching the incredible crew of Expedition from the Mysterious Peaks, part of ArvCon Day 2, which has already been a huge success, and I wanted to keep going. We are up to $2,128.40, $29.40. That is extraordinary stuff. Thank you, everybody, and let's keep the donations going. It is 6:57, so I'm going to give these people, these wonderful people, let's say until 7:05, so basically 8 minutes. And then we will be with you for another hour after that before giving way for Indy and his concert. I am joined by the amazing Rhiannon Held, Toya Kristen Finley, LaShawn M. Wanik, and Zach Clay. Please stay with us, everybody, and we will be right back to you folks in a bit. Until then, please hold tight. All righty. Welcome back, everybody. The time has come for us to return to this world of... Oh, I see what has happened. A camera has been changed, and thus everyone is different. Hold on. I shall address this issue. No, I am not raving Yelena. I would never plan to be. There we go. Look at that. Hey, I fixed it. So we're back, and we are back after a really good donation that we got just at the end there from Hillness. So we are now sitting at 2129.40. We would love it to be able to get to 2300, closing in on 2500 would be great by the time we get to the end of the session tonight. So please do continue to donate with exclamation point donate. Like that, to raise money for the Damon Running Cancer Research Foundation. Very excited about how this has gone so far. Day 2 has been great. So also excited about how these players are playing, and a little bit of extra stuff happening here with some drones, maybe, because there's a red light glowing and a sound of a zzz coming. So I'm going to hand things back over to the party to ask. You can see this red light beginning to brighten. What would you all like to do? And I'm assuming, by the way, I should have made this clear before, everybody I think was inside this room, right? Just to be clear. All right. So
Yep.
if everyone would not mind just moving there. I know that it's, your tokens are bigger than the rooms almost, but if you could do that, it would be lovely. So yes, and I'm going to hand things back over to the party. You see this light glowing and brightening through the open door, basically. What would you like to do? Everyone's like, we don't know.
It's just the light so far, right? There's nothing else.
Well, whatever is holding the light is getting closer. That's the thing.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
and-
this is like a light coming down the hallway?
Exactly.
Okay. Okay. So and now I have a better understanding what's happening. Okay.
Because Sataria's reaction is to like look at one of the two people who might have an association with such lights and be like, "Oh, well, that's obviously."
But Raven isn't. Yeah, Raven's deep in thought
Yeah.
and not really paying attention.
In that case, Draxus will go, "Oh, well, actually, it is a red light floating down the hallway is very bad. We should prepare for fighting."
Okay.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Draxus is going to we might as well wait for it to come in here and ambush it.
How big is this room?
It's a pretty good size. This is probably this room is actually, I think I have a description of exactly how big it is. Yeah, this is probably like 30 by like 40 by 30 or something like that, I would say.
Okay. Yeah, Draxus loads up a sprite beam and prepares to duel.
Are there places to kind of take cover to in order to ambush it?
So if I'm going to move you just for a moment, Raven, with apologies. You see this over here? This is sort of like the hallway, right? That leads down from that door into this room. So if you were all on this side, basically of this partition, then you would not, it wouldn't see you if it comes all the way in this room. You don't know if it will or not. You could also wait around here and peer around the corner if you wanted to, but that's up to you.
Okay, so Nulls is going to take cover in that area.
Okay. Gamora kind of
Draxus
growling steps back. Go ahead, Draxus.
Says, well, actually, I could try a new trick. And I'll say, this is what I chose instead of being able to understand all writing. And he snaps his finger, and you see a second Draxus appears. As it goes to speak, you see it makes no sound. And he says, yeah, I will, so I'm casting illusory form, but I chose a complex pattern that means I can do this at will.
Okay.
It is concentration up to 10 minutes. So I will make this soundless image of me. This is basically the spell silent image.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make it walk out of the room and stand in the hallway.
Okay. When you do that, what it see or what the illusory form, is this a deal where you can see what it can see, or I don't remember if silent image does that. Okay.
Nope. So I'll position it such that I can see. We all can see the fake Jaraxxus from the room, but we can't see what it sees. I mean, I guess I could. Yeah. No.
I mean, my question is, like, do you want to sort of send it out in the hallway and then you're like hidden behind it because it's there, and you're looking out around the corner to see what's there? I guess is my question.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to give you an idea. I'm just saying, like, I didn't know if
yeah.
that's what you're looking for or not.
I have a fear then, though, that maybe it like sees through illusions, so it wouldn't matter. No, I'm just gonna put a fake Jaraxxus in the hallway and have him stand where we can see him, so that if it does turn down this hallway and does something bad, then it happens to him first.
Okay.
Okay,
See if the illusion takes fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as y'all do this, Raven finally realizes what's happening, and she kind of steps further back into the room and pulls out her light pistol.
Okay. All right, and I'm gonna put oh shoot, I accidentally copied Gamork. There's no way to copy Gamork. Sorry.
We'll take 2 Gamorks.
Yeah, I'm sure. An illusory Gamork. Okay, there we go. Except for this one, Jaraxxus, I'm going to put on, let's see. How about... I'm an illusory thing. Okay.
Yeah, he stands in the hallway doing the home Alone.
Right. Okay. So as you're all standing watching it, watching Jaraxxus's illusory form, you see this red light which gets brighter, and then you see clearly there is a red light shining on the illusory form, and then you hear a bzzz, and you can see the red light circling, like basically like as if it's scanning, might be the way to describe it. And then you hear a redo, 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 coming from right outside the hallway. You can't see it, but you can certainly hear something. Redo, redo, redo.
Ah, yes. Redo. The classic sound of there is intruders on the ship.
Redo, yeah. Exactly. Try again. No, it's just redo.
Jaraxxus says, I feel like it's an alarm warning other things to come get us. So, are we happy being in a dead-end room, or should we maybe go out into the hallway?
We should maybe go out in the hallway, but we should maybe also take that thing out first.
All right.
Redo, redo.
Especially to hear yourself think.
It's very echoey and loud.
Okay. Jaraxxus is going to cast... Oh, this only lasts for 1 minute, though.
Is it just
Yeah.
the red light, like what's circling? Can we see what it is? Is it really like a drone or?
If you come to the hallway and look out and around, you can. At the moment, you're on the other side of the partition. So it depends if you're willing to kind of look around and see.
Just see the duration of this thing. 1 hour. Okay. I'll step out into the hallway. And,
I have a picture that I'm going to show you,
ah.
which will be popping up on Roll20 momentarily. Let's get that. And its name is Redo. Okay. Okay, here we go. And I will show you what it looks like on stream right now. That is what you see is on the other end of it, a floating device with a red light, and the red light is shooting out scanning. But right now it is just hovering, stopped. The red light is circling, and all of the lights, you can see there's several other circular lights around, other red lights around its circular body. They are all bright red and pulsating. And from it is this incredibly loud, redo, 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 redo.
I shoot it.
Go ahead and make your shot, and then we're going to talk about what happens then. Roxanne, you don't have to put
As Jaraxxus is
light.
shooting, Toya is going to let Keiko out of the room because
Okay.
it is her dinner time.
Sounds good. Keiko doesn't want to be near this drone.
Yeah.
I will cast Symbiote Mark on it, which is a hex.
Okay.
And then I will redo it. So here we go. +6 to hit. I believe in myself. I can do this. And I get a 24.
Yeah.
That's what you get for believing in yourself, chat. Always believe in yourself.
It's a miss. What? No, just kidding. Yes, clearly hits.
That's 16 damage.
All right. So, yeah, absolutely. We're going to be talking combat here in just a moment, but before we do that... Okay, that's what I thought. So, fortunately, I have the reference that I need. There we are. Okay, so you hit it for sure. How much damage? Did you say?
16.
You blow it the hell up. Redo. It just blows up.
There we go.
And so it does that. However, the lights are still sort of dim in the whole ship, but you do hear faintly from elsewhere in the ship. Redo, 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 redo.
Oh, it's like a scavenger hunt.
Which direction is the redo, 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 redo?
Hard.
coming from?
It's hard to say, except that it's definitely coming from outside the room and elsewhere. It's on this deck for sure, but like it's a big, big deck, so it's hard to know where exactly on this floor it would be. Because it's some distance from you. So it's not immediately where you are, but it's hard to say what direction. I mean, pretty clearly somewhere to the west and south, that's for sure, because you're pretty far north and east, but that doesn't help very much to give you specifics.
You
Well, there's
would
a good-
have to explain to me because I don't exactly understand your technology. But if security is like guards, if we could actually get into a security room, could we stop this?
No, I think so. Probably.
We should try the key card we have. I mean, it might not work, but it might. Maybe it's a higher access.
Hopefully. I, as a player, will be right back. I have to let a dog out as well.
I sense a pattern.
Yeah, in
Okay.
the background, I'm just hearing. I'm hearing, and on the other side of the wall, redo, but in dog right now. And I'm the only one home, so
Feed
right
me,
back.
feed me,
He's
feed
happy.
me,
Feed
feed me.
You all love this klaxon. You all know. You all know it. You all love it. It's funny. Okay. So let's see. Jaraxxus is out along with this other and Gamork. Okay. All right. So before Jaraxxus returns, your plans are then to GTFO this area. Because you haven't explored all of this area. Obviously, I know you're worried about the alarm. Are you going someplace to set up for whatever does come or doesn't come, or running to find some place that you could get access to with the current key card you have, or what do you think is your plans? Are your plans?
So the security room was back down to the southwest, right? There are
It-
two of them?
That's correct. Or they lead to the same place, but there were two doors.
There were two
one
doors.
here and then one here. Yeah,
And the red one is operations.
allegedly, and that's there. And the other red one that you saw, you explored, was this one.
Okay.
And the blue one was a security.
And the blue one was right. The blue one was security. The red one was operations, supposedly.
Raven, could you also possibly control all of this from operations? It's closer.
I don't know if I can control. I mean, certain keys only open up certain locks, and I'm not a medic, or I'm not security. I used to be a medic, but no, I don't think I'll be able to. I don't think I can just access this operations with this car because it won't fit.
Earlier you mentioned something like lock picking. Is that still an option?
I'm not a lock picker. I can tell you that right now. I don't have the skills for doing that. And even if I did, there's a good chance that whatever virus or whatever was on this ship that caused them to have all these glitches and whatnot may still be running. So I would not trust that right now.
Perception checks from everyone, please.
Hesitated too long.
You've waited too long. Okay. Oh, jeez. Nulls is like hyper aware of the world now. Wow, Brahms, thank you. Brahms with the $150 donation to Damon Runyon. Thank you, Brahms.
Thanks, Brahms.
That brings us up to $22.79.40. Thank you, Brahms. Longtime viewer of the channel. I have met Brahms myself when going to CanCon in the past. Thank you so much, Brahms. Wow, $22.79.40. That is great. Appreciate it. We are closing in on that $2,500 halfway through goal. That's awesome. Thank you, Brahms. Okay, so which means another giveaway as well. Thank you, Brahms. Okay, so let's see. We had perceptions from, we had Draxus with a 16. Is that right? No, with an 8. Sataria with a 16. Nulls with a 24. And Raven with a 10. So that means that for Sataria and Nulls, Sataria, you hear the sound of something impacting the corridor floors outside.
Uh-oh.
And Nulls, you hear a lot more than that. You hear this, which is also known as roll initiative, roll initiative, roll initiative.
All right.
Let's roll initiative. Let's get some combat music up in here. All right, there we go. Okay. Oh, geez.
Beautiful.
Jiraxis, you're too busy worrying about your guy. You're like, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, I deleted it, by the way, so because by casting the hex, I no longer have my illusion.
Ah, I see. Okay. So let me get rid of that.
Beautiful.
0.
Yeah.
A 0 initiative. Literally will not, you just won't go. You're just not going at all.
I'll wait around, guys.
It's not even giving me the option. I'm just going to say 0.1 there. It's like, it's got to be something, right? Like it's okay, let's see. Then we have Raven. Raven, you just a 13 because you would no dex bonus? I think we may have talked about this before, in which case I
No,
apologize.
I have no dex bonus.
All right. That's right. We have talked about it before. Apologies. Okay, 13. And Nulls with the 7. Boy, y'all are like, well, I'm sure it's fine. You know? Stop picking Gamork. There we go. All right. Gamork will go on his own sweet time. All right. There we go. 13, 12, 17. All right. Great. Let me add that in. Okay. So. Oh, and I also, speaking of Gamork, it would be helpful if I rolled for him. Okay. Let's see. So, Satari with 12. And Jaraxxus with the 0. And let's see. Raven with the 13. Say that again.
Sorry, no. Raven utters a swear.
I
That
see
was a radio edit.
yes. Lovely. Okay, let's see. And then that does that. Okay. Right. Okay. The first one to go. Oh, no. I accidentally added a 1. Nulls is not the next one to go. That's silly. Nulls, what's your dexterity, by the way? Just your raw score?
Well, I have a plus. Wait.
Yeah,
14,
just your
sorry.
14. It's 14?
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Great. Okay, so first to act is Gamork. And Gamork sort of growls fiercely and sort of looks around basically here. And then growling goes charging up the hallway. Now, you don't know exactly at what yet, but it's going at someone or something. So I'm just letting you know.
Great.
You don't know about what the attacks are or anything else, but it is charging at something up there. Which brings us next to Raven. Raven, what would you like to do?
Raven would like to swear even more.
I would like to further swear.
Raven sees Grimlock charge off, and she's does she also hear the sounds now? Or
Yes. She now
Okay.
hears this. It sounds like a smaller version of the engine, the Stonebreaker engine thing that you fought down below. Definitely not that
Okay.
large, of course, but it definitely has that kind of mechanical impacting sound of steps.
Okay. All right. Okay, well, Raven has her light pistol, and she also is going to head down the corridor after Mark, and basically take a look and see what he's charging at.
Okay. Okay. See if I can. Right. I use that. Okay. So when you come out, you don't see anything immediately, and you also don't see Gamork. But if you were to go at like pretty much top speed, Raven, you could turn the corner of the hallway and look what's down this hallway to the right, to the east, because that's obviously where Gamork went, because the other way was a dead end.
Okay. All right. Yeah, then I will take that look.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Hang on a second. I'm going to bring this forth.
Yeah, I'm right here, but I'm just moving it up so people can see the hallway.
Okay. What you see is not that big, although tempting. You see Gamork charging at what looks essentially like a small, what you would define as a mech, Raven, like a small mech that's clearly not big enough for anything to be riding inside it. Thank you for the follow on my channel. It's clearly not big enough for anything to be riding inside it, but you see something like it has the same design as a mech with these two metallic legs to jump out of game for a minute. Star Wars wise, looks like an STAT, right? Like as it's coming towards it, and Gamork is charging towards it. Gamork will have reached it in the next round, or it will have reached it at that point.
Okay. So I'm guessing that there's like no organic being in there.
Pretty likely, unless it's a small organic being, which is possible, but
Yeah. So, which, according to her experience, there isn't. So, is Gomork blocking the corridor, or
no,
can
you
she-
you could shoot over it. This thing is a
Okay.
little bigger, a little taller than Gamork is.
All right, then I am going to shoot at it with my
Fire
pistol. As soon as I get to that point on my feet. Weapon, light pistol, 1D20.
Whoops. you one shot Gamork in the head. No, I'm just kidding. No, you missed though wildly, and also widely. So unfortunately, that is a miss, Raven. Do you want to stay at the end of the hallway, or be like Homer Simpson, like move out of the way, out of the hallway?
Yeah, I'll duck into. Oh wait, no, I can't. Or can I? Can I duck into the other room?
You could duck back into this hallway here.
Okay.
This
Then I'll
room is
do
actually a
that.
wall here, so the door is not in that spot. Oh, no, I
Okay,
take that
that's
back. I take that back. There is a door there, and you already opened it. Yes, you could duck into that room if you wanted. I take that back.
Yeah, I'll duck back into this room.
Okay.
And Mother and Breath, they're long dead. They're just bodies.
Yeah. Okay, well, Raven is there waiting. Sataria, you were up next. What would you like to do? Two of your companions have run off now, so to speak.
So is it possible for me to get enough out the door to see down, or
Yes, I think so.
okay?
If you go sort of top speed, you should be able to just emerge enough to be able to see whatever's going on down there, yeah.
Okay, because I'm gonna do setting up my spiritual weapon.
Okay.
And I'd like it to hit this turn or try to hit this turn, but having it for later is sort of the most important thing.
Okay. What's the range on spiritual weapon again?
60 feet.
Okay. That's what I thought. All right. Yeah, that's fine. So if you get to the other side, if you go up to here, basically the hallway, which would be your full movement.
Mhm.
Beyond it, you could see, Gamork is about to, get it on with this freaking mech here. Is about to battle this mech, and behind it there does seem to be room that you could just place your spiritual weapon if you wanted to
Okay.
do that.
Yep, correct.
All right, so let's do that. Need to have a
Ooh,
official thing for.
totally gonna hit. Hopefully, not much damage.
Let's see. All right, I don't know if we talked about this before. What was the kind of? Do you imagine this as like a sword, or as a glaive, or as?
It was a scalpel.
It was a scalpel.
This sort of like white light, kind of like very precise. It wouldn't be quite the same as a scalpel in our modern times, I imagine, but like this tiny little blade that's very clearly for sort of surgery.
Like, for example, too big.
The Buster Sword. No.
All of you are obliterated. All right, there we
There
go.
we go.
Like that,
Yes.
right? Okay. It is there. Although if this
It's
starts
actively slicing.
actively slicing. Actually, you know what? I can't do that. That broke the last time I tried to do that. It broke. It's really annoying because I like it. I think it's a cool look. But what it does is cause the whole of Roll20 to flash, and it was driving me up a wall. So I can't do that. I'm sorry. You're just gonna have to imagine what that was like. I will bring you a. an ordinary looking thing that does not move, but has the same idea. Okay. Sorry, I thought that was going to do the job, and then it didn't. Oh my god! All right, I'll figure this out. While I'm figuring this out, in the meantime, you're attacking with this thing, and you've hit with it. I wasn't looking because I was busy doing this. You
Well,
hit,
25 to hit.
yes, definitely
so-
hits for sure.
Okay, that's what I thought. Then 8 damage,
Okay.
which is piddling, but oh well.
Hey, listen. 8 damage. Okay.
Your healer is sort of attempting to do damage.
Yeah. No. Listen. Okay. For the moment, that's what you have. I will try to address getting the spiritual weapon up there a little bit later, but for right now, just we'll know that it's behind it. Okay. Good stuff, Sataria. Next up is Nulls. Nulls, what would you like to do, having seen now 3 of your companions charge out of the room?
Okay, so Bardic Inspiration is a bonus action, right?
Yes.
So what I would like to, I can't really do anything that won't get Gamork hurt or Soteria. And I don't think I can shoot at this thing with a crossbow either. Because, yeah. Where would I... So I could move and then I could inspire Gamork. But then would my turn be over, basically?
If you move up all the way behind Gamork,
Oh, I don't want to do that.
well, or close enough that you could inspire him, yes, that would be your turn, because you would basically be double moving to get there.
Okay, and I couldn't cast like I could do the inspire
Because that's a bonus action.
As a bonus action. So if I move once, could I inspire him?
I don't think so, because you won't get close enough to see him, is the problem.
Okay. Yeah. I think I'm gonna have to double move.
Yeah, seems likely. I should have asked Sataria, by the way, if you're staying where you are in that hallway, because it's going to affect what I said to what I say to Nulls.
Well, do I have the ability to, in one turn, still get back?
If you came up here, I'm just shrinking a little bit so I can see what I'm doing. If you came up there, you'd be able to maybe just step back into the hallway.
Yeah, let's do that then.
Okay. So that means that, Nulls, you could just get past Sataria. I'd say you probably could get just enough to peek around the corner and inspire Gamork, and then go back into the hallway basically where Sataria is.
Okay, let's do that then.
And Sataria, is this you here now then, in that hallway?
I've lost... I can't really see the doors well enough, so I was just sort of... wherever you want to put me.
Yeah, that's the door right there above it. Yeah, I'm sorry that the thing is so small. Yeah, okay. So Nulls, you're going up, inspiring, and then coming back, basically?
Yes.
Okay, you can do that. So Bardic Inspiration to Gamork.
Yep.
We'll talk about the impact of that next turn. Okay. Nulls, why don't you move yourself right to below Sataria, just so we know where you are, please. Okay. And now it is the bad guy's turn, specifically these bots. So the first bot here sees Gamork coming up and raises its arms. And then coming above the arms are 2 mounted blades. And as Gamork charges up, the bot like tries to basically slash down at Gamork, at everyone's favorite murder puppy. All right, so let's see. First attack is a miss. Second attack is a hit. Okay, and it does it really slices into Gamork, who kind of like yelps slightly. He's not like close to death or anything, but that was a quite a hit. Then, as it slashed Gamork, it then moves forward with its powerful legs, and Gamork is forced to give ground. So just a few feet, basically. And at first, you're not 100% sure why it's doing that until you see a second one emerge in the hallway behind it.
Great.
And you can see on the top of its body, and actually, I guess it's Sataria is just peeking around the side, who I'm going to say is your spotter for everybody. So Sataria, you see on its shoulder a panel open, and then coming up, a long-range rifle is what it looks like. A big rifle, heavy rifle. And it trains down at where Gamork would be, but there's another bot in front of it, and so it does not fire. It seems to be ready to fire, however. Jaraxxus, you're up.
Okay. Is Jaraxxus able to get in line of sight of one of these things?
This turn. Yes, if you double move. Same thing I said to Nulls.
Okay. I think I may have to do that. Yeah, I will dash. And given that that's the case, I want to be right here next to, I actually don't know whose token this is. Right next to this person,
That's me.
next to Sataria, and not in line of sight quite yet. And that's where I'll end my turn. Jaraxxus will run up and say, "What's happening?" That's his turn.
Okay. Top of the round, we have Gamork, who, let's see. There we go. Okay, so we have Gamork, who, growling fiercely at this thing, is going to leap up at him and is going to attack with rage and furious anger, etc., etc. And let's see.
He's also inspired.
Ah, yes, that's true. How much is Bardic Inspiration? It's 1d6 for you now, or is it?
1d8.
It's 1d8. I beg your pardon. Okay. Still misses. Wasn't the fault of the Bardic Inspiration. It was fault of the his attacks. And sort of growling bends low a little bit so that if you wanted, you should be able to fire above or over him if that was of interest to Raven, who is up next. Sataria's on deck.
Okay. So, Raven is going to. These are machines. Machines still take psychological damage to them. No, they don't. Machines. All right, well, she's going to duck out the room and use her pistol again.
Okay. Yeah, it's exposed.
Well,
12 will hit. These things are not very agile.
and so I roll for damage, right?
Now you roll for damage, yes.
So 5.
5, and then probably that pistol may add, it might say in the pistol description there if it adds your dexterity bonus to that. Or is
Which
it just
0?
which I know, I'm sorry, I keep forgetting. Okay, so 5 points. Right, 5 points. Okay. All right, still though, zap, okay? You hit it, you damage it. Do you duck back into the room after that?
Yes.
Okay. That is going to lead us to Sataria with Nulls on deck.
Well, so I'm gonna tell tell Draxus about the second one. Ah!
Okay.
Oh,
And
great.
then
And your spiritual weapon's in between them, by the way, Sataria. Now the two mechs, basically,
yeah.
2 bots. Now there are 2 of them.
So normally I'd concentrate its fire on the one closer to Gamork. But that's the one that's spoiling the other one's shot. So maybe we don't want to get rid of that too quick.
You won't be able to hit the one behind it either, though, because the
okay.
other one is in front of it. So it's a good call, but it wouldn't make much difference because
I
the one
thought
behind
you
is
said
there.
my spiritual weapon was between them.
Oh, you
So
could do
couldn't
it with your spiritual weapon. I beg your pardon. Yeah, you
Yeah.
personally cannot hit it with something, but your spiritual
no,
weapon could.
no.
No, you're right. So yeah, up to
So
you.
yeah, so I'm gonna use my spiritual weapon, this bonus action, on the farther one with
Okay.
the gun.
Okay.
So, and this is yeah.
That will hit 11 damage. Nice.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
And
Slams
then
into it.
Gamork hasn't particularly taken any damage, right?
Which one? I'm sorry. Oh,
Gamork.
Gamork has taken some damage. Yes.
Okay, I'm
yeah.
just his support crew. I mean, it's what I do.
Yeah.
So let's use a cure wounds on Gamork then.
Okay. Sounds good. 10 points. Okay. Very nice. Okay. So he sort of growls. Now, are you going out to sort of touch him, by the way? Because this is technically a touch unless I'm missing something about them.
No,
casting it.
I use my sorcery points, and I remember that I have
That's
some
right
left.
to do that with about. Okay, great. So you use
Yeah,
your sorcery
so
points.
I just
Okay,
marked one off.
got it. Cool. All right. Yeah, that good stuff from Mark looks much healthier. And then Sataria, you duck back out of the way if that's okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then you duck back, and Nulls is right there. And Nulls, you were up next. The creatures are going. The bots are going after you.
Now, if I kind of duck into the hallway, can I aim at the one?
You're
at
here,
the back?
right? You're here, right?
Yeah, I basically just ducked right.
Okay,
back
that's fine.
into the- yeah. Or can I only take aim at the one that's directly in front of Gamork?
That's the only one that you have a shot at, yeah, because the other one is behind it, so it's within the range.
So I would really, really like to use Thunderclap on that one. But the range is 5 feet. I don't know if I can do that.
Too close. You'd basically have to exchange places with Gamork, assuming Gamork even allowed you to, because Gamork is all about like roar, you know.
Yeah.
So I will say you might theoretically be able to get next to Gamork just. So that's possible, but then you are exposing yourself to attack by this thing. I'm just letting you know.
So this is what I'm going to do. I've already given him some bardic inspiration. I am now going to guide him.
Okay. Sounds good.
Cast guidance on Gamork.
Sounds good. Yeah, and Shadow points out, when you roll poorly and only get a 1 with Cure Wounds, that's a clerical error. Nice job. That's well done. Thank you, Shadow. I like to subscribe to your newsletter. Okay, so you run around, you basically come out, touch Gamork, who kind of growls, and then you jump back in to the hallway, if I understand this.
Yes.
All right, that sounds good. All right, it is the bad guy's turn. This first one is again going to try to slice and dice Gamork. And that is 1 hit and 1 miss. Okay, and that is okay. It's a good thing you did that stuff. It hits it pretty strongly again, Gamork. So it's a good thing that you healed him up, Sataria. And Gamork growls again. This one behind is moving its rifle, but it cannot get a clear shot on anything yet, and so it does not fire. Which leads us to Jiraxis.
Yeah. Jiraxis is going to move into the hallway.
Okay.
And take a shot at the nearest automaton.
Okay.
And
This guy in front.
Yep. I'm gonna just do a good old sprite beam.
Okay.
And before that happens, I'm gonna use a bonus action to move my mark onto it.
Okay.
so that I could have the potential of extra damage.
Has been marked.
And
Marked for death. Okay. Here we go.
that's an 11.
11 is
which
not going to do it.
Totally hits. Okay.
Gomork, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Dang.
No, you missed the bot, unfortunately.
All right. In that case, Jiraxis looks at Sataria before he steps out and is like, "Watch this," and steps out of the hallway, shoots, completely misses, and I say, "Don't. Never mind."
Don't watch
And,
that.
I'll step into here with Raven and say, "Did you see that? You didn't." And that is my turn.
Does your mark?
Wait. I forgot. Wait, we're level 5.
Mhm.
I think I can shoot 2 beams.
I think you may be right.
I keep forgetting that.
So maybe now watch this one.
I'm like, okay. I dart into the hallway, shoot, and I'm like, oh, miss. Go back in. I'm like, wait, I can do that again. I see that like on my wrist it says full charge, and I'm like, oh. All right, I'm gonna try again. And let me just make sure though. Sprite, a rather good soft drink. Sprite beam. 2 beams at 5th level. All right. 15.
Yes, we'll hit.
Oh, great.
Yay.
Okay. That's what I like to see. Plus a d6. 15 points of damage.
Wow, slams into it.
Ace.
It's looking pretty messed up now, actually. That
Great.
like one of its arms kind of like, almost seems to hang limply. It's still able to attack, but that smacked into it for sure. Does that counting the mark, by the way?
That is counting the mark.
Okay.
And I'll step back next to Sataria and say, I told you not to watch, but then that one was great.
That one. Watch that one.
And that's my turn.
Okay, Gamork's not going to get a chance. Does your mark, by the way, in this only affect you, or does it affect anyone who hits it?
Symbiont mark. It only affects me, although the creature has disadvantage on ability checks of a ability that I choose, and I will choose strength. So, but yeah, no, it only affects my rolls.
Okay. Well, Gamork's turn comes next. Still manages to hit, and because of the advantage that the guidance, that was put on it by Nulls, you can see slams right into the sort of front. I guess I don't know, the kind of front window, I guess, front panel of this, and smashes it, and just and the whole thing is like and kind of like lowers down, and its arms drag, and Gamork rips itself free. You can see blood coming down his muzzle, and sort of throws his head back and howls. But as he howls, you hear a beep, 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 coming from the downed bot. Raven, you're up.
Oh.
Beep, 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 beep. Redo. No, I'm just kidding.
Raven recognizes it and yells, "We need to get Grok out of there!"
Okay.
And I don't have anything. Shoot. Oh. Raven is stuck on what to do. Because she has an idea of what's about to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't know Gamork
Yeah.
Gamork well enough to risk her own life to run out and grab him. She's not that strong.
Gonna have to.
Is there a way to get him to run away?
I mean, you can run. You can run. Either stay where you are, or you can run on the hallway and yell at him like whatever you think is going to happen is going to happen. Get out of there. You know, I mean, you can certainly do that. So the only other option would be to basically like overpower him with strength and rip him away. And he probably wouldn't even know what's going on initially. So.
Oh crap.
Yep. You have to make a call though.
Okay. She has an idea. She has an idea on what to do.
Okay.
She will run out and yell, Grimok, get away from there. It's about to explode.
Okay. Yep.
Grimok, get out of there. It's about to explode.
Okay. And then where does she run to after that? Like straight across the hallway or back to where she was?
Straight across the hallway.
Okay. So
The others.
so go ahead and move yourself into that hallway. We'll see what Gamork does on his turn if he has a chance to react to it. Sitaria is up next, and then Nulls. Sitaria, what do you want to do? You've heard what what she just yelled, what Raven just yelled.
So I can't do Spare the Dying until he's dying. So, but I got that. So I think I'm just gonna like cast as much healing as I can on Gamork, with the idea that then maybe he can survive something a little
Okay.
bit better.
Sounds good.
So 3rd level Cure Wounds.
Nice.
Okay.
Woo! All right. Very nice. Okay. You again heal Gamork, again duck out of the way. Nulls, you were up next. Oh, do you want to attack
my
with spiritual weapon? Yeah, I'm sorry. Do you want to go out on the other one? Or what do you want your spiritual weapon to do?
Yeah, I want to do it on the other one that's still standing.
All right. Is that
so 13 to hit?
13 will hit, yes.
Okay, 9 damage.
Okay. All right, smacks into it. Now you go to the other side. Or go back into the hallway, I mean. And now it is Nulls who's up.
Okay, so I'm going to duck into the hallway, shoot my crossbow, and then come back to where I am.
Okay.
And I want to specifically target the rifle of the other.
That'll make it a
Back.
tougher shot. Be aware.
Okay.
You can do it, but I'm just saying it's going to be tougher.
So there's also like a panel like underneath it's a larger target though,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, well, it's the rifle is out of this. The panel opened and the rifle came out of it. So it's kind of the panel's open right now because that's the hole from which the rifle is extending. So it's
Okay.
not really a panel, it's an open metal, it's an open metal piece now that the rifle has come out of.
Well, it's about the same thing then.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Well, okay. Here's what I'm hoping though.
Okay.
Whether I hit this or not, if when that other thing explodes, it's going to damage the automaton behind it.
That
I'm
seems
also
pretty
hoping
likely.
I'm also hoping that.
Yep.
So I'm going to try to shoot the rifle.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds like a plan. I'm going to so -3 on this attack.
How's that?
Hey, how about a 24? Is that a nat 20? Oh, close to nat still. 21 will absolutely hit. Yes, go ahead and roll your damage.
Okay. Damage.
9. Very nice. All right, Nulls, and then you're ducking out of the way again after that.
Absolutely.
Awesome called shot. Okay. This thing basically steps, lowers its rifle at Gamork. And then is going to fire. And you hear from all of your position in the hallway this like this sort of almost a intense bass sound as this thing fires off. and misses Gamork, but you hear this massive impact on the other end of the hallway. You get the impression this is designed to like shoot across much of the ship. So like firing in this hallway has a profound effect, but somehow it managed to avoid, Gamork managed to avoid being hit by it. Jaraxxus, you're up, and then the next round's going to hit, which will be close to the end for us. So what are you going to do?
Okay. Jaraxxus is going to move out in the hallway and say, I'll do you one better. No, two. And he'll shoot 2 sprite beams. Not before, of course, marking the creature. Did the first one explode already?
Not yet. I mean,
Okay.
maybe it won't. Maybe it's just going beep, 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 beep.
Okay. Yeah, Jaraxxus will mark the new one and then
Okay.
shoot it twice.
Okay. Marked for
And
death.
you know what? I'm gonna just I have this ability that I rarely use because I try to save it in case we're in real big danger, but I'm just gonna guarantee a hit.
Okay.
So I have perfectly balanced once per short rest. It's part of my Cybermancer subclass. It says, when you or a creature within 30 feet of you makes an attack roll, basically a d20 roll, I can use my reaction to have the roll be treated as if it had rolled a 10. Oh, I can do that after the die is rolled. I could have done that before, but good to know. So actually, you know what? I can save it. I can wait until after the die is rolled.
All right.
Here we go. Like that. So I'm going to use perfectly balanced. And as I shoot out this beam and see it's about to go wide, I use all of the sort of controlling sprite digital monitors that I have on my wrist and sort of redirect the beam.
Okay.
So that will now be a 16 to hit instead
hit.
of a 9.
Yep.
Okay, and then here's my second beam, which is 20.
Yep.
So
Both hit.
can I just give you all my damage for
Sure.
both hits?
Give me
Ooh,
all
that's
of the
fun.
damage.
Oh. Okay. I believe the symbiote mark is only once per turn. We'll just check.
I think that's right.
Symbiote mark. Until the effect ends,
Oh,
you can
okay.
deal an extra 1d6 damage to the target whenever you hit it with an attack.
Okay.
No limit. Wow, that's awesome. All right, so that's 27 total points of damage.
Wow. So your thing strikes the middle of it, and there's just a hole through the center plastimetal panel right on the front of it, and just and then boop, 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 boop,
I say,
boop.
Gamorka, over here, and I back up into this room.
Okay. So Gamork, who, as you'll remember, goes first, is able to turn and, growling fiercely, leaps into the hallway a second before both of these explode. There is a massive explosion. I need dexterity saving throws from everybody, please.
Oh no.
Oh no.
We get no advantages for being behind cover?
No. You
Okay.
this is the benefit of you not being hit directly by damage and then having to do this.
Dexterity save.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Jarax is dodging back. Okay. Basically keeps you from being thrown against the bulkhead, more or less, Jaraxus. Okay. Wow. Null's like parkours out of the way, like just like
Parkour.
spins around a pole and like, this is all my Sataria also made.
Whoa.
Jeez. Okay, so all of you are just like, woo! Like, yeah, it's just Cirque du Soleil for about 15 seconds. Everyone
Well,
is just like,
I'm kind of
Oh
normal.
wait, sorry. Hold on. I did the wrong
I mean,
one.
but we
did
could
only
take that
one.
first
Hold on.
roll. Let's just have 3 20s. Why not?
it's the first one's a 20. I'll take that. Like a
Oh,
20 plus
okay.
whatever you had the no dex,
Sure.
but still. Yeah, no, you all just like parkour out of the way. So there's this moment where we all see slow-mo, except for Sataria, who manages to just avoid it. But everyone's like, oh, like as you
John Woo
manage to
shot.
avoid the John Woo shot, as you all
And it'll
avoid
never happen again.
being hit by flying debris and so on. And then there is an eerie silence, and as you sort of look out, you see some smoking wreckage on the ground of the hallway, and Gamork comes up, growls, comes up, stands up, walks over, sniffs, and then and turns from the destroyed bots. And that is where we will bring our session to a close for tonight. Good stuff,
That was
people.
fun.
Good stuff. Got rid of a couple security bots. Got a captain's
Mhm.
log with a doomed ship thing going on.
Yeah,
And
we got some redo.
that is what it is all about. And yeah, exactly. And
the
some
Johnny
redo.
We got a real murder puppy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, listen, but you were all boosting and that was actually a pretty big deal. That if that rifle had connected and Sataria had not been keeping Gamork up, I'm here to tell you, that rifle does a lot of damage if it hits. But you do not hear any alarms or anything else on the ship, just silence. So for the moment, you're safe. But for how long? This was great, everybody. And not only was it a lot of fun session, but we also raised some serious money for Damon Runyon, which is really great too. So I will start with Zach on the right side. Zach, again, thank you so much for running around so much and accommodating us for the flexibility of your schedule twice during the weekend. I really appreciate it. How did you feel about today's session, and any final thoughts about ArvCon and where we will see you next?
Right. No, it was my pleasure. I love ArvCon, love performing as part of these and playing these games and raising money. The cause is very personal to me, as I lost my mom to cancer and several other family members over the years, extended family. So yes, it's amazing that you're funding for this. I think it's so awesome. It's a tradition I look forward to every year, and the session today was really, really fun. Love some exploration and the unexpected role play too, of like seeing all the computer logs of the captain and kind of piecing together the puzzles. I really like that.
Yeah.
And a bit of combat and realizing that I can shoot 2 beams. It's fun.
That was huge.
Yeah, it was huge.
This is a good point, by the way. Before you go on, you have about 2-3 minutes while we're finishing up, chat. If you want Expedition to get a little more money here thrown their way,
right.
as the people who raise money, now's the time. Now's the time to do that donation if you want to show them your support, and most of all, Damon Runyon. Sorry,
Yes.
Zach. Go ahead. On you go.
No, of
As I
course.
challenged, over
Yep.
1,000.
Over 1,000. It's over 1,000.
Over 1,000.
Yeah.
So no, it was a great time today. People will find me again for we did not quite finish our D&D session with the Our Vocalists the other night, which just means we have to play D&D Our Vocalists again.
What a
so
shame.
That'll be what a shame. That'll be sometime in June, and we're also playing Citizen Sleeper as the crew there, which is a lot of fun so far to get into that game. You'll find me on social media in most places as Midday Clay, where I've been posting about my middle school D&D club students' reaction to tabletop games. That's been going pretty well. Critical Role reposted me, which always feels nice. And other than that, on my own Twitch channel, twitch.tv/ZachClay, anyone who watches this channel regularly kind of knows where to find me. So that's it. But a great pleasure, so fun, and very happy to take part. And good Memorial Day weekend to everyone.
Thanks, Zach. Good Memorial Day to you. And don't forget to check out Zach and myself on our Gen GM show, because if you'd like to know about DMing and GMing, we are only 6 subscribers away from 100 subscribers on YouTube. It's free for you to do that. So go join us over there. We've got a new long form video we're going to be recording soon, TM. So make sure you check us out. And thank you, Zach, again, for all of that. Moving right along, LaShawn, great stuff from Raven today. I liked a lot of the subtle role play moments that we got in here, including that moment which everyone picked up on, which was the whole, there's this biotech research facility, and everyone is like, oh, that's interesting to you, right? Like the whole mystery of Raven being slightly unearthed one step at a time. I think you've done a lovely job at sort of gradually revealing aspects of Raven, which I think is neat. And and now we get to see, as you said, you don't know how long it'll take before more gets revealed, but certainly this is a place that provides a bit of pressure, it seems, to get people confessing things about, based on what they find. So there were some really lovely role-play moments with there. And you got a couple of hits in with your light pistol, too. So there was that also. How'd you feel about today? How was it to participate in your first ArvCon? And where will the folks see you next?
Yeah, this was fun. And yeah, it was really neat to like discover the log, but also discover things that are actually familiar to Raven. But yeah, but it's not something that it's not something she's sharing, but you can still see it's making her come a little bit more alive and more it's I love teasing out those little moments, and she has hold of the green key card. So so that's something. Yeah, I'm interested to see what doors open with that card.
Yeah, literally.
And yeah, yeah, this was a fun game. And yeah, she was able to get in a couple of hits, and she warned Vermont
Yeah,
in order
that was
to
so funny. Like, I think I know what that is. It's like, yeah.
So yeah, so that was fun too. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the next game already to see what happens next. But people can find me. They can find me on Blue Sky under T-Bone Jenkins. I have a blog called Cafe in the Woods. You can go there. I'm on Patreon. Yeah, I'm all over the place. So feel free to look me up and support me if you can.
Thanks, LaShawn. Appreciate it very much. Thank you. Thank you. Toya, as always, great stuff from Knowles as well. I loved all of the questions that you were asking that were related to someone not from space being like, so this virus, this thing, are you sure that it doesn't like affect everybody? Like,
That was great.
all of these things was really, and it's exactly what you would expect some to be able to understand. And the fact that you and Sataria know a little bit about the lettering only because of your familiarity with your own societies, and yet obviously don't exactly know what it applies to because that's the technology that Raven and Draxus would know. I think you sort of played off that balance and that sort of understanding a little bit, but not a whole lot about these things very well. And then obviously some big things for guidance at the right moments, which was very useful too. How did you feel about this version of ArvCon and our session today, and where will we find you next?
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. Not that it's not fun, but it feels like there were a lot of major revelations packed into a very short, maybe 20-minute span, with the language and this being a root language, and then having the captain's logs, and then there seemingly maybe the Keratin are somehow connected, and the magic tech has come from here. Just like wide-ranging repercussions for this planet just came in like 20 minutes or so. So
Yep.
that was really cool. And like a lot of great rolls from everybody tonight. Spectacular rolls. I have
Yes.
never hit anything before. I've always failed before, so that was nice too.
Yep.
So this was a very joyous ArvCon for me. I have lots of free time right now because the games industry has lit itself on fire and
Oh, yeah.
refuses to put the fire out. So if you have any projects, I mean any projects from prose fiction to video games, where you need some editing or some writing, please let me know, because like I said, I am very available right now.
Yeah, and really do. As I've said many times, Toya is awesome, but is also awesome as editor, writer, etc. So you should definitely take her up on that and get Toya the paid work she deserves.
And let your friends and family know.
Yeah, exactly.
They got
Spread the
work.
word widely. I agree. Thank you, Toya. And last but certainly not least, Rhiannon, very clutch heals on the part of Sataria. Also some clutch work with the spiritual weapon. A lot of stuff that Sataria was doing in that last combat that was very significant. And then also, as I say, being someone who understands a little bit of the language and also understands some of the impact of what that might mean regarding we rejected this language, because a little bit about the study of that, means that there's a different kind of spin on how Sataria might view it, even as compared to Knowles. And then again, as I said, pretty clutch work in that last combat. So how did you feel about your first ArvCon and this session, and where will the fine folks find you next?
I mean, so much fun, a great cause. I'm really happy to be able to support that. And I'm loving just like settling into like wolf support. It's what I do. It's what I do well.
Wolf support.
This is my only stream right now, but people can find me on the Dungeon Scrawlers Discord. I'm always hanging out, talking about writing and such. And check out my books, especially the space opera. I have a line of novellas under RZ Held, the Amsterdam Institute series. So you can just try the first novella, get a little bite-sized tastes. Hopefully you like it. Got all kinds of cool stuff in those.
Great stuff. Thank you, Rhiannon. Thank you so much. In chat, can we get some love for the awesome expedition from the Mysterious Peaks crew? Thank you so much to Rhiannon Held, Toy, Kristen Finley, LaShawn M. Wanick, and Zach Clay. Great work, crew. I will see you folks next month, and thank you again for the support of ArvCon. Bye.
Thanks,
for
everybody, and thanks for your
now.
donations. Bye.
All right. And that is going to do it for that. But we are still not done. We have still got more to do in case you were like, oh, we're finished now. No, no. We are not finished. We have, I won't say we're just getting warmed up. We're a little more than warmed up, but we have more stuff that we have to do. And that begins with our concert, which is a little running over. It's supposed to start at 8:15. It's starting a little bit later because this ran over because of, various scheduling things, but that's fine. We will be caught up on this right now, although I will send out a note to Shadowed. I think we'll be fine just for, I think we're still going to be, it'll be like a 45-minute set, I think, for Indy, so I think it should still be okay, and we'll still have you go on at 9:30, but I'm just letting you know that. Right now, what we're going to do is I am going to go and get prepped for Indy's concert. This, again, is the concert from the awesome Indy Full Stop, who you saw last night doing his first tabletop stuff. Indy is a good friend, a streamer, and a wonderful musician who's done this concert quite a bit, and he's going to get a chance to do it here. We're going to hear this full concert. And look, chat, we are sitting at 2279.40 out of 5,000. Man, if we could get this to 2,500 and then have the community D&D crew bring in another 300-400, if we were closing in on 3,000, I was hoping that we were going to pass 2,500 by the end of today. If we could get close to or past that, and we were in a better spot so that we're going in with about 2,000 to get as of tomorrow, that would be really, really great. That would give us our Eberron Marathon session to raise good maybe $1,000 during the day or a little more, and then the rest of it we bring it home on Monday with the scientists. So I'm hoping we can do that, but now's the time to get those donations in. If you love music, now is the time to do it. We have only $220.60 left before we reach 2,500 and the 50% mark. So now's the time to get in on that. Thank you so much to the Expedition from the Mysterious Peaks crew. Now I am going to leave you for about 7 to 8 minutes or so while I get stuff set up with Indy, and then when I come back, it is our musical concert followed by community D&D. Don't go anywhere. Spread the word. Let people know. Bring more people in here. Tell them that we got music and concerts coming up, and tell them that we are getting set for a big concert and then more Dungeons and Dragons after that. So I will be back in just a few minutes. Until then, stick around and hang tight. Donate to Damon Runyon. Be right back.